Every drop tells a story, every heartbeat, a connection. This is the mother's milk journey.
You hold your phone, watching the seconds pass. Your baby's tiny mouth is still moving, but the timer says 15 minutes. You freeze, wondering, should I stop now? Will too long make her overfed? Or too short leave her hungry? That quiet panic, that clock ticking in your mind, it steals something sacred, the connection between your body and your baby. Because your baby doesn't live by the clock. She lives by instinct, rhythm, and need. And that instinct is wiser than any schedule printed in a baby app. When we stop timing every feed and start listening, we unlock the biology nature built perfectly for us. A dance of prolactin, oxytocin, and trust. Today I'll show you why letting go of the clock may be the most powerful thing you ever do for your milk supply and your peace. If this feels like something your heart needed to hear, stay with me till the end. Let's breathe together, learn together, and if you want more gentle truths like this, hit subscribe so we can keep healing, one feed at a time. I'm Dr. Emma Lewis, a pediatrician and lactation consultant, who has spent over 15 years walking beside mothers who doubt themselves, not because they lack love, but because they've been told to trust the clock more than their own instincts. Every day, I meet women who time every feed, track every minute, and still wonder why their babies seem restless. And when I gently ask them to put the clock away, something magical happens. Their babies feed better, sleep deeper, and those anxious lines on their faces begin to fade. In this video, I'll help you understand 3 things. Why timing feeds can confuse your body's natural milk rhythm, how your baby's cues tell you exactly what she needs, and how to build calm confidence that turns every feeding into connection, not stress. If that sounds like the peace you've been craving, stay with me until the end. And if you believe that motherhood should feel intuitive, not mechanical, tap the like button so more mothers can find this message, because every click helps another woman exhale and trust her body again. Myth number 1. You need to time every feed to have enough milk. Every mother I meet seems to carry the same invisible stopwatch in her mind. It starts ticking the moment her baby latches on. She glances at the screen, notes the minutes, and whispers to herself, just a few more, then switch sides. It feels safe to follow rules, doesn't it? Something solid to cling to when everything else feels unpredictable. But the truth is, your baby doesn't understand minutes. She understands need, the language of her own body, not the language of numbers. Inside your body, there's a beautiful living rhythm created by 2 key hormones, prolactin and oxytocin. Prolactin is the builder. It creates milk when your baby nurses. Oxytocin is the messenger. It releases that milk when you're calm and connected. When you feed by the clock instead of by cues, that rhythm becomes disrupted. Your breasts wait for stimulation that doesn't come when your baby actually needs it, and your mind grows tense, focused more on time than on tenderness. Slowly, your body stops trusting the signals it once knew so well. I once worked with a young mother named Claire. She came to me exhausted, eyes filled with guilt. "I'm doing everything right," she said. "Every 3 hours, 15 minutes on each side, just like the guide says, but my baby still cries after feeding." We sat together quietly as I watched her nurse. The moment her timer buzzed, she gently detached her baby, even though the baby was still swallowing, slower now, reaching that creamy, calorie-rich hind milk that comes only at the end. I asked her to put away the timer just for one day and follow her baby instead. That night, she sent me a message filled with relief. For the first time, she slept peacefully. I think she finally got full. That is the secret. The clock measures minutes, but your baby measures connection. When you feed by instinct, your body responds naturally, matching supply to demand with remarkable precision. Each time your baby nuzzles, suckles, or simply rests near your chest, she's not spoiling herself. she's teaching your body how to nourish her perfectly. You are not a machine that needs to keep time. You are a living, responsive system designed for flexibility, not control. The only timer you need is your baby's soft breath and her subtle cues, the turn of her head, the small rooting motions, the quiet sigh that says she's full. So, next time you reach for your phone, pause. Watch her instead. Feel her warmth, the tiny hand resting on your chest. Trust that she knows what she needs, and your body knows how to answer. If this message helped you breathe easier, give this video a gentle like, or share it with a mother who still counts minutes instead of moments. Your support helps more women release the pressure, rebuild confidence, and rediscover the simple joy of feeding without fear. And if you've lived this struggle yourself, tell me your story below. I'll be reading every word. Myth number 2, 15 minutes per side means the baby is full. For years, mothers have been told a simple formula: 15 minutes on one breast, 15 on the other, and the baby will be full. It sounds efficient, even comforting, a small promise of control in a world that feels chaotic. But breastfeeding is not a formula, and babies are not identical timers. Some feed fast, some feed slow, and each feeding is a different conversation between you and your baby. Here's what most people never explain. Milk changes during every single feeding. At the beginning, your baby receives foremilk, light, watery, rich in lactose and hydration. It quenches thirst. As the feeding continues, the composition shifts toward hind milk, creamier, thicker, packed with healthy fats that give lasting fullness and help babies gain weight. When we stop too early because the clock says 15 minutes, the baby misses that essential creamy layer. The result? A baby who drinks plenty of foremilk but still cries, fussy and gassy, because she never reached the satisfying end of the meal. I once met a mother named Julia. She was exhausted and confused because her son wanted to nurse every hour. "He's always hungry," she said. "Maybe I don't have enough milk." But when I asked how long she allowed him to nurse, she smiled shyly and said, "About 15 minutes each side, just like my app says." I explained the science, that the first milk is like salad and the last milk is like dessert. When she tried letting him finish one side completely before switching, something changed. Within a week, her baby slept longer, gained weight steadily, and those anxious hourly cries disappeared. Your baby doesn't need equal time on both sides. She needs complete satisfaction from one side at a time. Sometimes that takes 10 minutes, sometimes 30. What matters is not the number, but the signal. When your baby slows down, releases the breast naturally, and looks relaxed, that's when she's full. And here's another gentle truth. Not every feeding has to be perfectly balanced. Your body is smart. If your baby spends more time on one side, the other breast will adjust later. You don't need to manage your body like a schedule. You just need to follow your baby's rhythm. So next time someone says, "Switch sides after 15 minutes," smile kindly and remember, your baby decides, not the timer. Listen to her. Watch her breathing, her swallowing, her tiny sigh of contentment. That's the sound of enough. If this truth helps you exhale, share it with another mother who still watches the clock. Give this video a like to let me know you're here, learning and unlearning together. And if you've ever been told to stop too soon, leave a comment below. Your story might be the one that helps another mom trust her instincts again. Myth number 3. Feeding by the clock makes motherhood easier. There's a quiet myth that lives in the background of almost every new mother's mind. The belief that following a strict schedule will make life easier. That if you can control the hours, the minutes, the number of feeds, somehow everything else will fall into place. I understand that longing for order. I've seen mothers writing charts at 2 a.m., eyes red but determined, whispering, "If I can just stick to the plan, maybe I won't feel so lost." But motherhood isn't meant to fit inside a planner. It flows, like milk itself, unpredictable, alive, and beautifully human. When you force it to follow the clock, something gentle breaks inside you. You start to measure your worth in ounces and intervals instead of smiles and peace. Let's talk about the science behind that. Stress releases cortisol, a hormone that directly blocks oxytocin, the hormone responsible for milk letdown. The more anxious you are about keeping up with the schedule, the harder it becomes for your body to respond. In contrast, moments of relaxation, touch, and trust boost oxytocin, letting milk flow freely and naturally. That's why babies often feed best when mothers feel safe and present, not when they're racing a timer. I once met a mother named Hannah who followed her alarm religiously. Every 3 hours, she'd wake her sleeping baby, even when the baby didn't seem hungry. She said, "If I don't, I'll mess up the routine." Over time, both mother and baby grew exhausted. The baby fussed more, slept less, and Hannah felt like a failure. When I asked her to turn off the alarms for just one weekend, something shifted. She learned to read her baby's cues again, a stretch, a tiny murmur, a little turn of the head. Her home fell silent with peace. Her baby began to feed longer and sleep better. Hannah told me, "I didn't know freedom could feel this soft." That's what happens when you stop obeying the clock. You start listening to your child and to yourself. Feeding becomes less about control and more about connection. So here's the truth. The clock doesn't make motherhood easier. Presence does. A schedule doesn't protect your sanity. Compassion does. When you breathe before every feed, hold your baby close and whisper, "We're okay." You teach your body to calm down and your milk to flow. If these words brought you even a moment of relief, pause right now and give this video a gentle like, or share it with a mom who needs permission to rest. Leave a comment about one small thing that helps you stay calm during feeding, because your story could be the reminder another mother needs tonight. What happens when you stop feeding by the clock? Let's take a slow breath together. We've walked through 3 myths: timing every feed, counting minutes per side, and following strict schedules. Each one promised to make motherhood easier, but in truth, they built invisible walls between you and your baby, between your instincts and your trust. Here's what happens when those walls come down. When you stop timing every feed, you reconnect with your baby's rhythm. You start to notice the soft pauses, the deep sighs, the way her hand curls against your skin. Feeding becomes less about rules, more about relationship. You realize she's not unpredictable. She's communicating. When you stop measuring minutes, your milk changes. Not because it's more, but because it's right. Your body releases what your baby truly needs, the perfect mix of hydration and fat, hunger and comfort, science and love. You learn that every nursing session is different, sometimes short, sometimes long, and both are completely okay. And when you stop living by the schedule, something magical happens. Your mind rests. You finally exhale. Without the constant race against alarms, oxytocin flows easier, sleep comes deeper, and your baby settles more peacefully. You begin to understand that the calmer you are, the calmer your baby becomes. If I could sum up all this wisdom in 3 small words, they would be these: breathe, rest, trust. Breathe, because your breath tells your nervous system it's safe. Rest, because your milk flows better from a rested body. Trust, because your baby's instincts are older and wiser than any parenting trend. Your body is not your enemy. It's a living, listening partner in this dance of motherhood. It doesn't need to be fixed, only understood. Every drop of milk you make, every gaze, every heartbeat between you and your child is proof that connection, not control, is what truly sustains life. So tonight, before you close your eyes, promise yourself something gentle. You will stop timing and start feeling. You'll hold your baby close and let her guide you. And when doubt creeps in, remember this: Nature has been preparing you for this moment long before you were even born. If this video gave you peace, take a second to subscribe, not for numbers, but for connection, because every new mother who joins this circle makes it stronger. Like this video if you want to help another woman find calm, and share it with a mom who still feels tied to her timer. And if one line touched you tonight, write it in the comments. You never know whose heart it might heal. There's a moment I'll never forget. A mother sat in my clinic, holding her tiny daughter against her chest. The baby had just finished feeding, her cheeks still warm, her eyelids heavy with sleep. For the first time, the mother wasn't staring at her phone or the clock. She was simply looking at her baby, breathing in rhythm, tears quietly falling down her face. She whispered, "I didn't realize how peaceful this could feel." That moment stays with me because it wasn't just about milk. It was about surrender, about a woman finally letting go of the invisible race she never had to run. You see, so many of us start motherhood believing we must manage it, perfect it, time it, control it. But the truth is softer, simpler. Motherhood is something you feel your way through, not something you measure. Your baby doesn't remember the schedule. She remembers your scent, your heartbeat, the way your arms feel like home. That's what shapes her world, not whether she fed at 2 o'clock or 2:15. She grows from your touch, from your calm, from the safety that only you can give. When I think of all the mothers I've met, the tired eyes, the trembling hands, the whispered, "I hope I'm doing it right," I want to reach through the noise of the internet, the pressure of advice, and hold your hand for a moment to tell you, you already are enough. Every feed, every tear, every imperfect moment counts. You're not failing, you're learning to trust again. And trust takes time. It takes silence. It takes choosing to see your baby instead of your fear. The more you do, the more your body relaxes into what it was always meant to do: nourish, comfort, connect. So tonight, as you hold your baby close, don't think about ounces or intervals. Feel the warmth of her body, the weight of her head resting on your chest, the quiet sound of your shared breathing. That's the heartbeat of motherhood, not measured, but lived. If these words made you pause and breathe, let that be your sign. You're on the right path. Like this video if it gave you comfort, and share it with another mom who might be counting instead of connecting. Every share, every comment, every little spark of truth you spread helps another woman find her calm again. And if you can, write one line below, something you wish someone had told you during those long, uncertain nights. I'll read them all. Because in this community, we learn from each other, not from perfection, but from presence. If you've made it this far, take a deep breath. You've already done something brave. You've chosen knowledge over pressure, connection over control. Every time you pause to listen to your baby instead of your timer, you're rewriting generations of fear. This channel, The Mother's Milk Journey, was created to remind you that you are not alone in that process. Here, we heal together, one gentle truth at a time. Each story, each comment, each small victory matters. Because when one mother finds peace, it ripples outward. Another woman somewhere exhales, another baby sleeps a little easier. So if this message touched you, don't let it end here. Subscribe and join this circle of mothers who are learning to trust again. Like this video if it gave you even one breath of calm, and share it with someone who needs to know that her baby and her body already know what to do. Leave a comment below and tell me what part of this journey spoke to your heart. I read them all, and your voice might be the light another mother is searching for tonight. And remember, next week, we'll explore a truth every mom needs to hear. Stop calling your milk too watery. The science of foremilk and hindmilk. Until then, breathe, rest, and trust yourself. You're doing beautifully.